And we are back. Hello, everybody. Eric Eisenbud, the Grateful Chef here. Back after a little 2-week sabbatical. I apologize for not getting to that fireside chat we talked about Thanksgiving, but I was buried. I was up to my elbows cooking all those great things that we did in the month prior to Thanksgiving. We did the Thanksgiving side dish series, and I hope that some of you, and I know that some of you had done some of the recipes, and the reports back that I got were nothing but positive, and I was happy to bring them to you, some great recipes. I did them all to the point where they needed to get into the oven. That was on Wednesday. This way on Thursday, all I had to do was put them in the oven. It was great. I love doing it, love bringing it to you guys. So yes, I am the Grateful Chef. We are streaming tonight on my groups, the Grateful Chef with Eric Eisenbud, and for the first time, my Paprika app recipe sharing network group. I've talked to you guys on the Grateful Chef group about Paprika and how much I love it. It is an amazing app for recipes, for dealing with recipes, scaling recipes, creating shopping lists. I encourage you to go into your app stores and look for them, and they're super user friendly. And I long time ago started this Paprika app recipe sharing network, and I want to welcome anyone from that group that is watching tonight. This is what we do. We do real live cooking here in the Grateful Chef kitchen. So if you're in the app group, join my Grateful Chef with Eric Eisenbud group. You'll see all the videos, and you'll get notifications when we do go live, and a couple days before with what we're doing in that week. So yeah, we are getting right to cooking as soon as possible. So we are starting our holiday entertaining hors d'oeuvre series. This is going to be a bunch of hors d'oeuvres type stuff leading up to the Christmas and Hanukkah season. We're in it right now tonight. And we are doing a chorizo stuffed mushrooms with port wine. Now, I did a little bit of research I wanted to share with you about the word hors d'oeuvres. It's really hard to spell. It's D''O''U''E''R''V''E''S, hors d'oeuvres. And the where this word came from, the origin of it, is pretty cool. It is obviously French, and it literally means outside the works. It was originally used in the architectural field as an architectural term referring to an outbuilding that was not incorporated into the architect's main design. The phrase was borrowed by French culinary experts to indicate appetizers, customarily served apart from the main course. Makes a lot of sense. So apart from the main course of dinner. So thus hors d'oeuvres are quite literally outside the main design of the meal. Really interesting tidbit where the origin of the word hors d'oeuvres comes from. We're going to move our blackboard over here, and we are going to get right to cooking. And it is not lost on me that the Grateful Chef is doing a recipe with shrooms. But these are really good shrooms. I promise you that. So let me go over some ingredients here. I am using the baby portobello mushrooms, the baby bellas. And I show they're available in every supermarket. I tried to go to Trader Joe's if you have one in your area. A lot of times they have these kind of mushroom caps ready for stuffing. So they're all nice size, but they didn't have them. So I just got the regular portobello mushrooms. I think I did buy them at Trader Joe's anyway. They're really nice. And you're going to love this recipe. So basically what we are doing, we're going to make a filling, obviously. And that filling consists of the stems from the mushrooms. So I pop the stems out. And we're going to put the stems right into our food processor. And in addition to the stems, you're going to want to add maybe 2 medium mushroom caps to supplement. I didn't have any more mushroom caps. I'm using all the mushrooms and the stems. So I happen to have had some oyster mushrooms in my fridge, so I'm throwing those in. Yes, Lynn, I see you are we have shout-outs dance.
Yes!
Hey,
we're
getting there.
I start getting a little squirmy when there's some shout-outs, but I saw your mom out there.
Hello, Mother.
But we have Paul Tony with us, and he said hello, Chef.
What's up, my brother? I hope you had a great Thanksgiving.
You gonna say that to everybody?
I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did, so.
All right. We've got Caesar Sperduto with us. He says, wow, sounds amazing.
Sperdutes.
Oh, chef of the future.
Chef of the right now, pal. This is the season of right now. Okay.
Right, keep going.
All right, so we've got our mushroom stems and supplemented with 2 mushroom caps.
You missed a stem.
Oh.
It's back here.
Oh, there it is. All right. But I used the oyster mushrooms because that's what I had. And we're really just going to pulse this. You don't want to grind it down too fine. You want it, like medium pieces. A couple of taps of the pulse. Just like that. You don't want to turn it into a paste. All right? So we've got those ground down. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take an onion. Now, what I did, as I usually did before with the Thanksgiving recipes, I took one recipe, I divided it into 2 so I could have one ready for you guys, and then I can have the other half to show you how to make it. So it's 1 medium onion. So we're going to just rough chop this. I want you to see if you can zoom in on this, Lynn. This onion, we all know, I'm sure, how to do an onion. We're going to cut the ends off. We're going to peel it. Like so. All right. Into the garbage. And I'm just doing a rough chop. So when I have like a rough chop, I do 3 across. 1, 2, 3 down. And that's really all you need. You need the onions in the food processor. We've got a couple of cloves of garlic. I think the recipe calls for 1 for a half a recipe. Of course, I'm putting in 3. And we're going to give that just a quick little buzz. Again, we're not making a paste. We just want to chop them up.
And we also have Bobby with us tonight.
Bobby Thomas?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Bobby.
See, I don't even need to use his last name.
Oh, it's like family already. All right, next ingredient is raw ground Mexican-style chorizo. I happen to have bought this at Costco. They had like 3 long tubes, actually 3 2-packs. So there were 6 tubes. And for this recipe, we need like just less than a tube. I forget what it is, 1/3 of a cup. I'm going to tell you right now. It's 1/3 of a pound. So 1/3 of a pound. So what I like about these, I keep them in the freezer when I need chorizo. You just got to cut the end off and take it out of the plastic.
I don't know if you said it, but where did you get these?
I got them at Costco. So this is not like a casing. This is just a plastic tube that they use to hold the chorizo in. And now we're going to grind this again. What we're looking for is kind of like a coarse meat, like a ground meat, like you don't want it too fine and you don't want it too big. So I'm just going to incorporate the chorizo. And what happens is the onion and the garlic kind of stick to the side of the bowl. Can you see that, Lynn?
Yep.
Right, so we just want to scrape that down to make sure all that gets incorporated. You could do it right before you add the chorizo. That would be okay too. Pulse it up. And you just want to incorporate it. All right, that's it. So I'm going to transfer this to a bowl where I have some left over from the other half a batch.
I want to come in close so folks can see.
Okay, let me take the blade out. Yeah. And we're going to just put it in our bowl. This makes it easier to get to when you're stuffing the mushrooms.
Bobby said it's been almost a year since he was here with a rack of lamb. I think it's time.
Yeah.
For
Road trip.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to get rid of the food processor because we're done with that. And we're going to get to stuffing our mushrooms. So obviously, if you guys are doing a full batch, you're going to do it in an 8x8 pan so you can fit all the mushrooms in there. Again, I'm doing a half a batch. So stuffing them couldn't be easier. You want to, depending on the size of the mushroom, you want a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons. So what I like to do is take a little bit. You zoom in on this, babe?
Ah, yes.
Take a little bit.
We're zooming in.
And kind of make sure it gets all the way into the mushroom. All right, so you want to stuff it real well. And then take a little bit more. And don't be afraid to mound it over the top. You can do this with your hands. You can do it with a spoon. Make them look really nice. And this is going into, again, a baking dish that I sprayed with like Pam, you know. I happen to use the Kirkland. So again, we're going to stuff these real quick. First stuff it so it gets all the way in there, and then a little bit on top, and don't be afraid to mound it. So this is what Lynn and I are having for dinner tonight, actually. So I did not prepare anything else.
We also have Jamie Parisi with us. Did I say that already?
No? Hey,
Yep,
Jamie.
Jamie. Scott Broadhagen sent you 1,000,000 hearts and thumbs up.
Nice. All right, so it's real simple. Again, you can do it with your hand if you want.
I'm going to come in close as you pack it on the next one.
All right. So mold them in there. Line them up. Okay, here we go. A little bit in to make sure you get it in there. You could also, if you wanted to get crazy about it, you could take like a melon baller and kind of scoop out some of the inside of the mushroom to fit more filling in there. In fact, I've done that when I use like a breadcrumb filling. It just makes it accept more of the filling, whatever filling you're using.
Bobby asks, what level of spice would you say the chorizo brings the stuffing up to?
So, all, different brands are going to have different levels of spice. I find this that I got at Costco that they didn't have. I look for it again because I like to have it in my freezer in case I want to use it. This one's a little bit saltier than some that I've had. And as far as spice, it's really tough to go by me because I'm a chili head. I love spicy. So
I'll actually give you my perspective on it.
Mm-hmm.
I can still eat it, and my level of spice is out of a scale of 1 to 10. Call it a 3.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
So
That's quantitative.
Yeah, so I'm about a 3. This is probably 4.
Yeah.
And that way
But it's doable for you.
It's still doable, and especially when you mix it in with more of the mushroom stems.
Yeah.
It makes it even easier.
All right, we've got one more. And you can see that I've got a lot of filling left. Which is great, because then I can make something else. I can make empanadas. I can make, whatever.
Can you throw that into some eggs?
Sure you can. It has mushrooms. It's got chorizo, garlic. Nice.
So,
all right.
Great question from Bobby.
So here we go. I'll put this away for later use.
And then we've got from Scott Broadhagen. He said, just wanted to say a huge thanks for all of your love on Thanksgiving preps and the turkey stuff. So
my pleasure, man. It's each one teach one is my philosophy. You know that. So I'm happy to share. Happy to share for sure. All right, so we've got our mushrooms in here. Here we have a little bit of chicken stock. It's 3/4 cup. We're basically going to bathe, and I want you to kind of pour it gently because you don't want to erode away any of the chorizo. So once you kind of pour them over, then you can just pour the rest in. And then here's where the port wine comes in. Funny story. I didn't see the cooking port wine that I have for me, but I did see a nice bottle in the liquor cabinet, and apparently it's $45 a bottle. So we're elevating the dish.
Yeah.
And again, you're pouring these onto the chorizo. You want to bathe each one. And once you do that...
Your Taylor port is over there.
Oh, okay. It's on the other side of the house.
Yeah, that's...
All right. The final...
Oh, the whole thing?
No.
Oh.
So I usually leave a little bit butter out because sometimes I need softened butter. So I'm just going to pinch off some butter, and you're going to press into the top. Not even a measurement here. I mean, you know.
Just some butter love.
Could you have too much butter? Like the bigger one, I'm putting more butter on.
Alex
Ooh,
Estrada,
that's a lot.
Yeah, Alex Estrada's with us. He says looks amazing, and he thinks we should road trip it down to Kentucky to make some Spanish food. And
Cubanos.
Yes, and he said he was late tonight because Cody's making some onion bacon jam.
Nice. All right. You know, inevitably a piece of butter falls into the sauce, which isn't such a bad thing.
No, I'm good with that.
All right. Here we go, guys. This is what you're looking for. Show you real close.
Let me come over there. There were more questions on the other page.
All right. Simple. This is going into a preheated 350-degree oven for 2 separate cooks. So the first one is 15 minutes. So, of course, with the magic of television,
While you're looking in there, or do you have a second? Because
yeah.
Jamie says, any tips for making an easy peel hard-boiled egg?
My thing is running water. All right.
Hey, Jamie, I'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah.
And Mark Fresco, he said, is looking good. And Mario.
Sorry for the noise. All right. So what we have here, guys, is this is after the first 15-minute cook. Okay, this one fell over a little bit. No worries. It's still quite soft. But what you want to do now is pour out the liquid that's in here into a saucepan. And I'm going to try and do it without disturbing the mushrooms. So I've got my big fish spatula just to hold the mushrooms from falling over.
Now, I'm pretty unskilled at this. I would have that juice everywhere.
All right, so that's going in. I'm going to redistribute those. This is going to go on the stove. Now we want to reduce this, but we also want to add to it some other things.
What?
So we are going to return the pan once the liquid is out. We're going to return this for the final 15 minutes. And you see what I'm doing here? When that one's ready, after the 15 minutes, this one will be ready for us to eat. All right, we're putting that one back in. And 2, we're going to go over to the stove now, honey.
Okay.
So we're cooking that second 15 minutes to make sure that the chorizo is done. I'm going to season this delicious sauce with, and I'm turning it on because I do want to reduce it, with a little pinch of salt and a little bit of black pepper. Okay. And 2 more items. We are adding a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce going in. That's going to give it a depth of flavor, some umami. And we are putting in a teaspoon of balsamic vinegar. Beautiful. Now, I'm going to bring this up to a boil, and we're going to reduce this sauce. And I did it in a wide, kind of shallow pan, because I wanted a nice thin layer so it'll reduce quicker. Little trick.
Yeah, Scott Broadhagen said he's been up with twins, so he hasn't been able to watch live.
Wow.
But he has been catching it while they were sleeping.
Oh, that's awesome. That's the beauty of having it on the group, because, again, it lives there in perpetuity. Forever and ever. All right, this is already up to the boil. We're going to let this boil. So we had a question about hard-boiled eggs.
Yep.
All right. So typically when I do a hard-boiled egg, I put them in the water. I bring it to a boil. I boil it for 5 minutes. I shut it off. I let it sit for 5, 6, 8 minutes. Then I take them out. I cool, you can cool them down under some cold running water, and then I'll just kind of roll them to crack the shell, and I'll peel them under running cold water, and usually that works. There's a couple gadgets out there. I don't know, how they work. You have to check with the crazy Russian hacker on those. If you ever seen this guy, he tests every single thing out there. It's pretty cool. Crazy Russian hacker. So we're going to let this go. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Or suggestions for appetizers that you'd like to see me do? I am open.
And somebody asked for a peek at the your
The steak,
charcuterie.
the Pro 40.
Well, yeah, what you were doing in taking a sneak peek at that. So do you have a minute?
Yeah. Let's take a walk.
Walk over there.
We do have time.
All right.
Having a light?
No. Let's go see.
All right.
We'll walk through the house.
All right, so this stuff actually, for those of you who don't know, Steak Ager Pro 40, it is a machine that will do both dry aged beef or charcuterie, like salamis and stuff like that. Not at the same time, you have to do either or, but I just got it. It's been, I loaded it up on November 21st. We're really coming into the home stretch. I need to lose about 2 ounces on the beef, and I need to lose about 6 or 7 ounces on the pork for it to be ready. But I'm going to open it up so you can see what's going on in here. Let's see if they can see that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so this is the Bresaola. This is a eye of round that both of these were cured for 2 weeks in spices and pink curing salt. And then they were put in here to hang. It's got a really nice pellicle. It's firm, yet you can still feel it's soft enough. I tied them up, and these are looking really, really nice. You can see that the butcher's twine is a little loose because it's lost. I'm shooting for 35% loss. And then this is the lomo, which is a pork loin. It's got a little bit of fat on it. And this too, it's you can feel it's a little bit softer, but it's got a nice pellicle on the outside. We've got humidity being pumped in appropriately as it needs it. This thing has been beautiful, running solid. So we'll be doing a video when it's crunch time, when it's time to take these things out. Glad you asked.
I'm thinking maybe a week.
Yeah,
maybe less.
That's right. All right.
And Paul Taboni suggested Clams Casino.
Nice.
So maybe that'd be something.
Well, we had the clam show, remember?
Did we do Clams Casino?
Yeah, remember we had the clam show.
Huh.
Gordon Clamsy came and everything.
Oh, yeah.
We did casino and we did oregonata.
Yes.
All right. So this.
Watch the towel.
Yes.
Flame.
This has properly reduced. Reduced it by half. Now, I think it's been 15 minutes yet, Ruth?
No.
Almost? Let's see. No, not quite.
Yep. Paul remembers the show now. So Mike Cassell, he said it's been a while. Work keeps getting in the way, but his suggestion would be a seafood chowder.
Nice. That would be a great show.
I think so too.
Or do a clam chowder and then make the seafood poutine that you love so much.
Yeah.
We were in Seattle visiting my daughter. There's a place that sells seafood poutine, and basically it's French fries and it's cheese curds, just like a standard poutine, but instead of gravy, they put on New England clam chowder and put a couple of clams in there. Crazy good.
It's nuts.
I am going to taste, because you know it's important to taste as you go along. I'm going to taste the sauce. Mmm.
Beautiful. Mark Rochelle recommended grilled or baked oysters.
Did we do an oyster show yet?
I don't think so.
Okay.
David Sumner looks delicious. And Jamie Parisi, how long to do a prosciutto? Any idea yet? Haven't gotten that.
No idea yet. I would love to do one. That will be an experiment. But we'll see. Maybe I'll put that into the works. All right. I think it's been 15 minutes.
Okay.
Let's check it out. Let's see. Yes.
Oh, they look good.
So what that has done, we move this guy over. Those will be done soon too.
And just to let you know, the dish does not glow quite as much as it does on the camera, but
Let me check the temp. Oh yeah, 173. Done.
what's a good temp?
You want it's you know, it's pork, so you want to bring it up to at least 160. So
Okay.
and it's, you know, it's ground. So now what we're doing is we're going to baste the sauce over.
Coming back for some basting.
I can't wait. The balsamic and the Worcestershire sauce. Nice. Gorgeous. All right. So now we're going to transfer them
To my dinner plate?
to my mouth.
Ooh, you're making it fancy.
Fancy, fancy, because we're worth it. All right. Let's see what we got here. So the chorizo is quite soft, which is okay. It's what you want it to be, because remember you got the mushrooms in there, creating space. Look how good those look, babe.
Mark Rochelle says, how soon will this recipe be up on the website? I'm making this for sure. I posted it before we started, so you should be able to, yeah. So
it's there now.
Yeah, so if you go out to either to the website or to the Facebook group, you can click on it from the Facebook group. Or
And for those that don't know the
there.
website, it is www.eatingwithcheferic.com.
We got to do it from Jeffrey Harrington. I think he's referring to the prosciutto, but I'm not sure.
Yes. All right, I'm going to take some more of the sauce that's in the pan because it looks too good to be true.
It does look good.
So now remember that the sauce in this pan has juice from mushrooms. It's got juice from onion. It has got juice from chorizo. It has juice from butter juice. It's got butter. It's got salt and pepper, Worcestershire sauce. It's got port wine. Look at that.
It's got deliciousness. It smells so
Can
good
you see
here.
that?
No, yes.
No,
No, I
yes?
was kidding. Close up. Yumminess.
All right, over to the cutting board, where it is time
For tasting.
for yours truly to burn his mouth. All right.
And those things are steamy, so be careful.
Yeah,
honey.
I'm going to cut it
Be
open.
careful, honey.
Okay. Mmm. Beauteous. Here we go.
Woo.
Mmm.
Yum.
Really good. Very well balanced. The meat is got the onion and the mushroom in there and making it really nice and tender and really not too spicy. You know, all that liquid that we put on it and the butter, it all tames that spice down. Mm. This is something that your guests, or just you, forget the guests, will love. Yes, dear.
My question,
Mm-hmm.
because really it's a question for them. What about something that you can take to a potluck or something? How well will this travel?
Well, as long as they're packed in tight and not rolling around, they will travel just fine. What you can do, if you have the ability, when we're eating, pack the mushrooms, put them on a sheet tray like so, and freeze them. And then, if you have the ability to bring them on the sheet tray to your guest's house, if you're able to do some cooking there, then you can finish the dish at their house. Okay. Otherwise, you could certainly cook them all the way and pack them on a rimmed sheet like this, cover them up with foil, maybe throw them back in the oven once you get there. You'd be just fine. Yes, Lee.
We've got Ernest Brown. He said, looks good. Mark Rochelle said, hey, throw that on a bed of arugula. And from a presentation standpoint, that would be amazing.
For sure.
And thank us for the recipe. And then we also got Kevin with us tonight, and he said hi to us both. Hey, Kevin.
I'm going to keep eating.
Why don't you wrap it up?
All right. And I forgot to tell you all who this Lynn is. Lynn is the producer and the camera woman and the wind beneath my wings. For without her, this would not be possible. So I couldn't do this alone. I don't cook alone. I don't put on the show alone. We're all in this together. So, until we meet again next week with another great hors d'oeuvre recipe for your holiday entertaining. Be well, eat well, be kind, love each other. We're all we have. And we will see you next time on the next Grateful Chef video with me, Eric Eisenbud. Peace.